Hello people, this is Dodi, and this is the first of two dolls that I got for the holiday season. This is Sweet Sue from American Character. She's 2 feet tall, so she's a very impressive doll. Now hang on a few minutes while I put the camera back the way it usually is, and we'll talk more about her. She's an absolutely gorgeous doll. And like I said, she's American Character. As it says on her head. Sorry about that. Let's see if I can get that. There we go. American Character. Now while I was looking to make sure who she was, I noticed something very strange about this doll. You'll see that it's a plain plastic like you would expect from the 1950s, but what's odd is that under all this hair there's a silicone wig. It's on a silicone base, and you can see that they've inserted it into the head and not just glued a wig on top of the doll like I was expecting it to be. She's got green eyes, and they work quite well. Problem with the one eye, as you can tell, is that she's missing eyelashes, but that's an easy fix. And you can see her head turns quite easily. The reason why that is she's a walker. And what's unusual is that she turns both sides. Just like that. Let me get this out a little bit. So she locks in place, and right now I told Tammy that this thing was built like a tank, and it is, because in here you can see that there are springs and sprockets and rods. So she was built to last. I think she was an experiment, because the lower body, you can see right here that she was painted over plastic, and it is definitely plastic. Let me sit her down again. She's got a split crotch, unfortunately, but that's easily fixed with some super glue. And why I think she was an experiment is these arms are silicone. You can see, you can twist her arm real well, but there's a cylinder in the arm and in the upper arm to hold her hands in place. And I am just crazy about her. She does have a couple of problems, like I said. That eyelash, the seat, and somebody tried a little too hard to get her to move and split the one leg. But that's easily repairable. All in all, I think she's absolutely gorgeous. And that's my first baby. My second baby, which just came today. Let me get Susie put down. Is my prize. Look at here, people. Isn't she gorgeous? I told Tammy that it said it was unmarked, and that's what they said, and that's what they thought. But she's a horseman. There he is, way up under there. The interesting thing is that this is her original paint. It is not a repaint. It's the original. She's wearing a mohair wig, as you can tell. And her tag, she apparently was for sale back in the day. I'll make it here in a minute. Her tag, as you can see, says original clothes, Horsman. And I believe it. These are original clothes. Because she's got the little lawn day dress with the little puff sleeves. I don't think that the bonnet belongs, because it's built differently. This, I think, is a real baby bonnet. It's quilted like it would have been, like it should have been, and covered in satin, and of course the double row of lace, and a drawstring type backing. But I don't think this belonged to her. I think that she came like that, except this one spot, as you can tell, looks a little weird. This is where her paint has lifted. Otherwise, she only has a couple of cracks, and looking at her legs, there's a couple of minor cracks there. I was really shocked at the color, because let's face it, we're used to faded dolls, and this doll is not faded. You can see she's got the basic cracks, but nothing that's really lifting. So, other than the hands, all her paint is intact. So, I think, let's get her undressed. Little brass safety pin. Oh, this little dress is supposed to be pink. of there. She's got a silk. Let's get it out here. She's got a silk slip on. Isn't that great? The slip was pinned on too. And she had yep, little pink drawers. The whole outfit was pink. And there she is. And there's her voice box. She was a mama doll, or is a mama doll, but look at those little legs. Let's get the shoes off. Look at those little shoes. Feels like they're made out of felt, with the little ruffles around the edges. And rayon socks. Yep. Yeah, taking a look at her, there's not a lot wrong with her other than her hands. Let's look over here. You can see where the palm of her hand has got some paint lifting, and on the ends of her fingers, and over on this little hand, there's some in the palm and some on the fingers. I don't think I'm going to repaint her. I think what I am going to do, let's get back out now. It's a little trick that I learned just by accident, actually, about, and that's the reason I had to take her clothes off of her, that if you use purified linseed oil, not boiled, purified, that paint will sit back down. Not only sit back down, but rebond to the composition. So what we're going to do is we're going to oil her up. The only thing I'm going to do is wipe her down. And we'll see what happens after that. I started, oops. I did this with one doll simply because I wanted to get her cleaned up. Now, linseed oil will clean oil base paint. As you can see, that little red mark is going away. But I had gotten online about a different thing in paint when I noticed something that was very interesting, that linseed oil, the purified type, doesn't ever dry. Now the boiled type will, and you can use it as a varnish, but purified linseed oil doesn't really dry. It will evaporate, but it won't dry. And since the oil is good for wood too, it won't hurt the composition, making it swell and buckle. But just so you can see, this buckle, I'm going to oil real good. Oh, and by the way, it won't take the paint off either. I'm going to oil this up real good, being careful not to get it into the hair. And we'll come back in a couple of days and you'll see what linseed oil does. For those of you that came to my channel from a different space, Tammy's channel is called Tammy Laskey, Laskey. And she works on composition dolls too. She and I are internet friends. So anyway, there she is, really oiled up nicely. Now I'm going to wait a couple of days and see what happens. Because all this paint is so good, there's no, if we can make it lay down, we've made a plus. We'll come back in a couple of days and let you see it. But make sure you look, because right now she's going to look different in a couple of days. And I'm not taking the paint off. Anyway, be sure to do all the stuffs, and we will talk to you later. See ya, people.